Hello, welcome to my channel for Evolved Humans. I'm Ms. Day. The very first thing that I felt when I was getting ready to do this reading is estranged. It's like I keep feeling like the word estranged just wants to come out of my mouth. So I don't think this means, okay, it feels like for some of you, this estranged feeling, it's actually from your younger self. Super weird. So it's like some of you have this estranged from your younger self feeling, and some of you are estranged from the family you created in adulthood, and some of you are estranged from your actual family that you have been surrounded with your whole life. So it's like, okay, very first thing that I feel is that someone right now, okay, I'm going to start with the past because I feel like it's a very important past. There is some part of you that I think in your youth or in this situation that is of the past. I don't know how far back. For some of you, I feel like it goes all the way back, and for some of you, I feel like it's not that far back. There was a situation you were surrounded in, and I think it was other people's wounds affecting you and those around you. I think that not only were other people's emotional wounds, but like the unhealed stuff, I feel like there was a lot of potential in whoever these people or this person was in your space, but it's almost like their wounds hurt you because they didn't heal them. And maybe they didn't know they needed to heal them. Maybe they were from their own childhood. That's what it feels like their own upbringing that kind of shifted you or sculpted you into what you became. So I feel like you went through experiencing that, and then it feels like some of you went through this period of time afterward of almost like going back to that that free feeling of being able to interact with social on a more superficial surface level. I feel like some of you detached from something that really hurt you. It was hurting you. I think that the connection or relationship you had was painful for you. It's like you had to pay for what wasn't healed in this other person. I feel like there's one huge presence that makes me feel that way. For some of you, I think it was more than one, like maybe even parents, but for a lot of you, it's like a parent or a significant other. And it's like ties into the same types of treatment and behavior. So whoever this is that got out of that situation just by time moving forward, because I don't feel like you had some large escape that felt like a victory. I feel like you came out of it almost wiped out, almost like exhausted from it. And so you needed some sort of it's like you kind of went into a period of trying to enjoy just quick connections of nobody really getting in deep, because you needed to just breathe on your own and you didn't want to take anybody else's stuff on. So I feel like whoever this is, it's almost like you went through this period of whoever you are, your inner child is still wounded. This is not for everyone, but this feels like three different levels that I'm feeling of people. So it's like there are different connections that caused this, but whoever I'm talking to in this reading, I think those wounds are still in there because it made you shield yourself from others, expecting the same type of exhaustion, So I feel like the period you're in right now, that was like a past thing. Like I said, doesn't have to be super far away from now. For some of you, I think this is a lifetime journey. Like this is a lifetime ago to you. but it's like your early childhood and probably into the later childhood and adolescence. Whoever I'm talking to, you were given some sort of example of, this is what I'm going to get in connections with people, and I can't take that on again. It's like it took too much out of you. So I feel like whoever you are, I know I'm talking to awakened people. I know I'm talking to people who trust their intuition, that it exists. Maybe you don't lean into it all the time, but you know it's there and you're aware of it. And I feel like you're struggling right now. It's like maybe you've gone through a period of struggling and you're stepping out of it, but I know that it's been a struggle. Like your intuition and all the synchronicities, it's like you wanted that to be the answer to all of your pain or all of the things that you still don't know how to allow to move and flow, but it wasn't the answer. It's like it is an answer to you finding yourself and hearing like a higher level than what you experienced from the living. But it really feels like someone has been going through, this feels like in the whole, whoever's in this reading, like someone's been going through, it doesn't have to be like a super dark type of inner struggle. Like I don't feel like you're sunken down. I feel like you're a fighter, whoever you are. Like you got your eyes opened and you're like, okay, I know that there's more for me to learn. There's more for me to do. But how do I get out of this? How do I get what it is I'm looking for? And I do think that some of you have recently stepped out of this. It's like a lot of you, I think, have kind of broken through that wall and stepped out of it into a new place. Like a victory type of feeling, but really I don't feel like you were fighting against anything other than your own ability to feel like you could move forward in your own life. This reading feels a lot like someone who is wanting direction. And it's actually beautiful because going forward, I think it's like that estranged feeling from the beginning. It's almost like you feel estranged from the past. Like I feel like you feel like you've sealed it off, or whatever the not healthy positive connection is. It's like you've sealed it off from affecting you now, you think. But I feel like there were really big wounds that I think that to survive you just had to keep going forward. And I think the next step, now that you kind of got through that, or getting through this sort of internal struggle of like, am I in there? Where am I in there? And it's like, you're coming out of it. This is a hopeful reading. This is like, don't quit. You've fought this long and it hasn't been easy for you. So this is going to be with a purpose. This is like, okay, I know you're experiencing things around you. I think that a lot of you are experiencing things in your home. I do feel like light flickering is a thing that's happening to people in this reading right now. Like I feel like the light's flickering and you knowing it but not really knowing what to do with it. It's like you just kind of know you're not alone. But you're still like, okay, but what do I do with that, you know? And I think some of you feel like the excitement of it, and some of you are feeling sort of like, okay, well, I'm fully aware of it, but why do I still feel so weighed down? Why do I still feel like there's a struggle to let anything in? And it's because of long ago. And I think that some of you, it doesn't have to be super long ago, but I think that whatever this is, even if it's an adult relationship that ended in the recent past, it was a big one. Like it was, I think you expected the level of love that you kind of entered into this life with yourself. And I don't think you received that. And I think there's a lot of healing that needs to happen. I do feel like there's past loved ones pushing. I am a medium, and sometimes I think everyone's a medium. But I do feel like there's a specific type of past loved one energy, and it does feel feminine. It feels like there's a past loved one type of energy that's coming through that's like wanting to help you heal. I don't know if you know this person or not. Some of you probably know them. Some of you were probably wounded by them. Because, you know what? That's interesting, because that's what's coming in. It's like, I thought of this earlier and I didn't know if it was going to come into this into a reading at all today, but it's like that. A lot of times we think when our past loved ones are gone that if they didn't fulfill what maybe they thought they should have been in this lifetime, or what we think they should have been like in our lives, their particular role, a lot of times we think that, well, we know they're there, but there's not really a good feeling there. But the thing is, it's not, and like, okay, and then we heal with our past loved ones. It's not, when you heal and it's healing and you can sense that it has to do with past loved ones and maybe the things that they went through, especially to do with their time, the generational differences. Oftentimes we think we are fixing problems for them. A lot of people have said that. A lot of people say that even in the comments. Like, people have said, and on other readings and stuff, like, people will say, I'm healing generational curses. And it feels that way. It feels like it's a curse, but the thing is, it's just their life. It's just what they walked through. Because that is true. Whatever we go through, like, you're not responsible for what happens for you, but you are responsible. You have the opportunity to be responsible for healing from it and for what you do with it. Like, that's an opportunity. When you heal with past loved ones, or maybe you get flashbacks and you're like, I don't know why I'm connecting to them, or I feel like I'm in a way kind of helping their spirit. You are helping their spirit, but they are there with you. They are doing it with you because you are their physical opportunity to heal and to experience things they didn't get to experience in their living body. You're a medium. So going forward, this feels like what you have to do. This is crazy. I feel like I feel like I have to say the word forgive. And I know that that's triggering, especially with super serious things in the past. But that's where this whole, like, it's an opportunity for you. This is an opportunity for you. And I feel like you almost feel like you can't reach the opportunity that's all around you. Some of you have. Some of you feel like, okay, I think I've accessed it, or I think I've released the heavy weight. And some of you, I feel like it's like you're stuck in here and you can't really, it's like you're not receiving why these things are happening around you. And they want you to because you want to. And you are able to, but it's something to do with what is still being carried from something in your past. And it's like the answers are not all that will help you going forward. It's like you do have the answers around you. You have your intuition. You have the awareness that you're not alone. But it's like the next step is a huge, it's almost like you have to give up on the idea that it could have been another way or should have been. Should, like, a lot of, this is crazy. Okay, so I watched this 48 hours thing in the last few weeks, and this is just literally making me think of something beautiful. This woman's sister was murdered, and she was like so excited for her sister that the killer was found, because the killer was so sneaky and so like easily like squeezed into this person's home. And it's like this woman, her sister, the sister of the victim, does not carry her sister's energy like a victim. Of course she was murdered. Like, I don't know how much worse it gets, but it's like she was killed, and yet certain parts of her ending of the end of her own life, which she did not want, the after effect is her sister saying she died and was sacrificed so others wouldn't be, by this monster that they got to catch due to weird little evidence that lined up. And it's like, no, she didn't choose to die. She didn't choose to be murdered, quite obviously. But what she is now is no longer trapped in that moment. And her sister just speaking that, just letting it be for a reason, that is pain put to a purpose. Because she gets to have that feeling of, my sister is glad that someone else didn't have to go through what she went through. And so, I know it doesn't sound, that's really dark, okay? But going forward, it's like you have to understand that whatever happened around you, it wasn't personal to you. And it's like you get to decide, okay, that did happen. Okay, that I do have these wounds. Okay, I do have difficulty receiving certain love coming in. But it's like the huge message here is the peace of an emotional acceptance. That's what you get with forgiveness and with just knowing that something happened, but something came of it. That's you. That's you. That's what this, literally the best point that you could be in is starting anew. And it's like you have to not think that this past weight and this past narrative and what happened to you is your walk in this life. Whoever these past loved ones are, like I'm talking to people who know that that there are past loved ones around you, that there are ancestors, guides, like you know that they are around you. You may not have had a clear, hey, who's that, moment, but you know. And I feel like what they're telling you, this feels so much like they are saying, you have to put that pain to purpose. You don't have to walk carrying the pain. Do something with it now. Make it so that what you experience, this difficulty in receiving, it's like you're a fighter. You've gone through so many parts of this already internally, and it's like it's a big struggle for you to just have connections. And I think that what they want you to do is sort of look at it and forgive that it happened to you. You don't have to say, okay, I forgive who did that to me. I understand what you went through that caused that to happen. But it's like every single thing leading to this moment is not for nothing. It will never be for nothing. And it's like the only way that it can hold still is if you quit trying, and you're not going to. Whoever you are, even if you go through a period of, you know what, I feel like that whole feeling of like forgive that it happened to you, you don't have to direct that at who alive did that, or who was alive and did that. You get to feel safe. There is no requirement that you have to go to that person and forgiving them will give you closure. But what needs to happen is that feeling of being loved, that feeling of being protected, because whoever you are, I don't think that you felt protected. I think that you felt like you thought you were protected, but you didn't get that. And I think you got used to that, and you had to stop expecting it. And that's what this is. It's like going forward, you're going to have movement. You're going to be able to experience all of the stuff that you do want to experience, because I think there's an intense capacity. But it's like you have to go through a period of time, where you're not just fighting forward and you're not just looking for the answer, because the answer is for you to actually give yourself, that's what it is. Whew. It's for you to turn all of that need inward and do it for you. You do it. You have to give yourself inside that comfort and that love by seeing yourself and feeling bad. Feeling bad for yourself. Feeling like I did deserve better than that. You don't have to talk to a direct person to be able to come to terms with that and to validate yourself inside. Like, if you can connect to this inside, you will connect outside of that. You will. It's like, that's the most beautiful part of this message. Going forward, it is literally the coolest thing ever, because you are at the start of a new journey. You do get a restart. Whoever you are, you don't feel like you get a restart. I feel like you have ended a certain struggle and now you have to just, and I mean a long struggle. I feel like you had awareness, you've learned a lot, you try to learn a lot, you try to be a growing person, and then going forward, it's actually going to be you being your friend. It's like you have to allow yourself to decide that you do need more in here. You always did. And it's not just, oh, well, that's what happened to me. No, take it personally. I saw that, I wish I could remember the words, but there was something about that. I saw on a church sign recently, like there's a church in my town that has like, sometimes they have hilarious sayings and sometimes they just have them and they're too good to like ignore. But this one, I don't remember the whole thing, but I do know that the last line of it, they just kind of, it was like an inspirational thing or something to let you know that like God cares, you know? But the end line was, take it personally. That's what this is saying. This is saying like, take it personally that you did deserve better, and let yourself validate that. Validate it for you. Don't just wear it. Don't just decide that's what happened to me, this is who I am in this lifetime, because they want you to heal. And you want to heal because you want what comes after the healing. And I think that when you go into the healing too, I feel like this is a really large release that's going to happen. And it doesn't feel isolating, even though you might feel like you're going through it alone. I think that if you allow yourself to go through it, you're going to leave alone behind. I think that your alone feeling was given to you. And your end journey is what you deserved all along. It's the reason you are placed here. The reason you went through all of this isn't because you deserved it, but the reason that you were put here in the first place, that reason, that's the journey. That reason is coming back. And whoever you are, you need to hear that. You need to know they're like not just saying, you can heal, you can get better. They're saying, do not think that this is who you're going to be for your rest of this time, for the rest of your time here. They're like, no, that's not who you are. That's how you feel. So it's like you have to do that thing for you that wasn't done for you. And I know that sounds like so lame. That sounds like, I know that sounds like not a very easy thing to do. It's just that that's what they want. And they're like, as if you can feel you and you can love you, then you're going to feel our love. Whew. That's another one I think I might have said before, but I'm hearing it again, which is, it's very difficult to have a relationship with someone who will not let you love them. So if you want your guides, and you want connection, and you want answers, and you want to grow, and you want to take this to the next level and step into a new life path, because you don't feel like this destination you've gotten to is fulfilled yet. Like, I don't feel like you feel fulfilled yet, and I feel like that's the next step. But you have to let this happen. You have to see that everything that's happened inside of you, it's something that you can move. You have to go inside of yourself and feel for yourself. Feel empathy for you. That's what makes empathy happen for others. So, and whoever you are, I think you care about others. I think that you just never really got interesting. You know what? If you were in relationships with people like that, that would make sense, because oftentimes we kind of get stuck in relationships at the level that we are at along our own journey. So sometimes we receive things that are on a level that we give ourselves inside, and we don't realize it until we're out of the relationship, because we have to grow. We are evolving throughout every connection and becoming a more evolved version of ourselves. So that's it. Whoever you are, you're not done. Don't allow yourself to feel done. This feels like a really beautiful childlike excitement that you will be entering into if you just allow yourself to turn inward and love you and comfort you the way you needed. Because I think when you go into that moment, you're going to have, they're all there, they're all waiting. As soon as you connect, in they come. Okay, I'm going to let it be. I'm going to stop it at that. And if you feel like this resonates, definitely let me know in the comments. I love it when you email me, just so you know. Like, I don't get sick of that. Don't feel like a lot of people apologize for emailing a lot. I love it. I love it. This is why I did this. I wanted to find you. So subscribe to my channel if you feel like the readings resonate, or if you just feel like you get some messages in the wave, and let yourself receive it no matter where you are at in your journey, if it feels like something resonates to you personally. And have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next reading.